March 9th.
You are in the mix with D Hall and the People's Show. This is a J York production.
You got it locked with D Hall on the weekend, baby. Ready? Initiate a J York production.
Introducing a new boxing promoter in Huntsville, Alabama. Coming to share his experience as a new promoter and tell us about his fighters. Join us in the experience with Stephen Mcdowell with Brawl South Promotions. On the People's Show.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Stephen Mcdowell of Brawl South Promotions. And on March 9th, I'll be on with D Hall in the People's Show to talk about future promotions and what I learned from my first one. Be sure to come in, call in, and remember, this is the J York production.
In North Carolina, there's only one podcast. A podcast of the people. We report the news. We report the opinions. We give the people a voice. We give the people the plug. Plug into the People's Show. A J York production.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Hello to everybody. Man, we're back here. Another Sunday. Combat Sundays. I know we kind of missed some Sundays there, so but it's okay. We're here. We're here. Hopefully we're here for the next 3 to 4 Sundays if everything goes well. Man, I can't wait for each of these Sundays because it's like, and on Thursdays too, because we do have guests on Thursdays, but these Sundays are getting ready to get real hot. Can't wait for next Sunday too. My man, Paul Pierce. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's been a while since we've been in the UK. So hopefully we will be back there. Good to see y'all. So much went on last weekend in the boxing world. But before we get started, this is an online program that is the work of talk and discussion. This is an online talk show that educate adult audiences. Parental advice is advised. Some things are not censored for children. So if you would, please watch your kids. You know how we do it here on the People's Show. Just a little different look today. How y'all like the new look? A little different, change up, change the flavor, like Kool-Aid, you like different kids, Kool-Aid flavors and stuff like that. Share the video. Call in today. Man, call in today. You know the number, 919-410-8736, man. It is what it is. This is how we do it on the People's Show. Y'all share the video one time. My guest today, new promoter. Alabama. Man, I thought that was football town, but it's got some boxing going on there. We're going to talk with my man, Stephen Mcdowell of Brawl South. Yeah, can't wait for him to get on. But meanwhile, y'all, we're here with you. Like I said, a lot's been going on with the boxing last weekend. Great fight. What's your thoughts on it? Javante Davis versus Lamont Roach. Wow, what that was like, that was a great fight, but you know, as you see it and I can see it, we both got eyes. We can see what's going on there. Lamont really actually won that. Tony Burgess, I don't know where Tony is. Tony might disagree with me on that. Tony Burgess Boxing and Fitness Gym, Spring Lake, North Carolina. He'll be up here in a minute. I know he's going to be having his say so about that. Tony. Yeah, I just want to touch, on a few things. And that decision that they was trying to get overturned didn't happen that way. So it's still a draw. Lamont Roach and Javante Davis. A lot more I could talk about today. It's the sunshiny day here in the Tar Heel State, and and all that good stuff. But we got a guest that we got to get on, and I'm glad to have him on because a lot of times we don't get promoters on. We might get a manager here and there, we get referees though, but a promoter, that's big. That's big. And then he's new, so that makes it even better, because he's got some trials and tribulations, and you have that in anything you do, in any occupation. Y'all share the video. I am your host for the next 30 to 45 minutes. I am the one and only D-Ho. Let's get my man. Let's get him in here. Glad to have him on. It's been a while. We put this thing together. It took a while, but we got it together. Today is his day to talk, to say his piece. Y'all share the video. Hey, share the video like you share everything else. I don't know what you might be sharing. The number is 919-410-8736. Also, if you connected to me, you can call in through the messenger. Yeah, we got it like that. Let's get started. Let's get my man in and let's talk with him. Yeah. The South, man. The South's got something to say. Let's hear what he got to say. Hey,
Mr. Hall.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's always good to have good people on the program. The People Show.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've got quite a few things that we want to talk about with you, and we know that your main passion is what you're doing right now. But before we get started, I always ask this question. I want you to tell the people, not ask the question, but I want you to tell the people who you are and where you're from.
Hey, what's up, man? Stephen Mcdowell from Huntsville, Alabama. The Rocket City. So I don't know if y'all ever been down there, but it's actually a nice city. You guys will like it.
Great. Yeah, Alabama. We're gonna get into Alabama and Deontay Wilder and all that here shortly. But let's get started here because I want to know, and I'm quite sure the people want to know. Hello, my man Brandon Lashley. What's up, brother? I see you coming in. Brandon, he's always around. Ring announcer. Arkansas there. Good to see you, brother. Before we get into it, into your career as a boxing promoter, because you're fairly new with that. Tell us a little bit. We want to know a little bit about your background a little bit. Tell me, how was it for you growing up in Alabama?
Well, let's see. Raised by a single mom, me and my brother. We've moved up and down Alabama. So we got, ties to Troy, Montgomery, Huntsville, Decatur, born in Birmingham. So Alabama native through and through. Me and my brother were the two to fight a lot. So it's probably why I was drawn to being a box promoter somewhere deep down. Let's see. I mean, football, for sure. I'm pretty sure y'all know about football in the state of Alabama. So
don't we all know?
Yeah, so a lot of pick 'em up, bust 'em. I'm pretty sure they'll call it something else there, or I hear different names for it, where you throw the ball up and then, whoever catches it, the guy try to score a touchdown, or everybody's busting. So I don't know what y'all call it, where y'all from. Pick 'em up, bust 'em.
We gotta tear your ass up. That's what we call it.
Dang. Okay. That was out for blood. That show's gone for real, huh?
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. I want to say hello to some people. these my crew. I love y'all. I love everybody. I love all the people. These people just coming in. I want to say hello to BWTV Boxing out of the UK. Man, wow. Hadn't seen you in a long time, BWTV Boxing. Stephen Covell over there and his crew. Want to say, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you for coming in and stopping by. He's always around. BWTV Boxing. Also, my man, DMC Can. What's up, man? Where the hell you been at, man? You've been vacationing. I know you've been vacationing. I see you on the Facebook, man. Good to see you, my man. DMC Can. Stephen, DMC Can. That is James Toney's brother, 6-time world champion. Yeah, good to see you. Yes, sir.
Hey,
good to see
you being on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, I want to touch a little bit more. I want to touch a little bit because we want to know who you are. The people want to know who you are. And you had a career in serving the military. What made you want to go into the military?
Let's see. If I got to start the question off like that, it wasn't my first choice, but I'm glad I went. In hindsight, learned a lot about myself. It brought out something in me as far as trying to serve people and, do things that, you get pushed in the military from basic to, OEF, which I was in. So it was a brief career, but it was a meaningful career. Taught me a lot, facing adversity, camaraderie, things like that. So it was I think you would have to go overseas or join the military to know that you actually like it, even in the midst of chaos. Because for one, you get close to people in the military, and you got each other's back for one, and then two, you find a way to make light of a lot of crazy situations while serving with your brothers and sisters. So it's shout out to anybody from the 663. I know we came up on our 10 years, so reunion coming up. Hope to see y'all there. We had some times together over there. We had some times here. Anybody from basic training, AIT. It's you keep in touch with people like that. It's similar to the boxing world, I imagine, as far as camaraderie goes between your brothers and sisters, and whether it be from promoter, manager, fighter, even any entity of the sport. I mean, it's kind of carries over just that camaraderie, fraternity, sorority, however you want to label it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're just touching on that because we just want to get a feel of who you are and what you're about. I want to say hello to some more people coming in here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a boxing promoter, Steve Mcdowell of Brawl South. And we're just touching a little bit on his background and history. And we're getting ready to get into the boxing here just shortly. But before I do, want to say hello to my man. BWTV Boxing says this has been shared on 64,000 followers on the BWTV page over in the UK. Appreciate you doing that, Steve. Steve's always sharing our program. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Shout out to the UK.
Yeah, man, we appreciate that. Paul Pierce. What's up, Paul Pierce? Paul Pierce is going to be on my program next Sunday. He's a UK fighter champion over there. What is it? What is that, champ? You're the PN. You know what I'm talking about, champ. You know what the name of that championship is. Yeah, the champ. UK, always rocking with me. I appreciate them guys, man, for coming over here. Paul's going to be on next. Yeah, Paul's going to be on next Sunday. He's been around. Great guy. Love Paul. Now, we talked about the service. Have you applied some of what you know from the service into the boxing?
I guess you could say so, as far as just situational awareness and situations arising, on the spot and on the fly. You have your little moments of get your little spaz out or crash out or freak out the way, and then stick to the mission. So I guess I applied some of that to it. Didn't fully cross over to it because it's a something's always happening, something's always changing, which happens in the military, but at least you have a lot more, like I said, comrades and
Yeah.
people who are going through it with you. Whereas in boxing, as a promoter, there's several different roles that are reporting to a formation, or they aren't,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
dining together, shouting together. So I would say the actual just certain traits as far as just diversity and realizing that something can happen and it will happen, and just being able to adjust to it.
Yeah.
As far as I would say too, um, you gotta have you gotta have some guts about you. You gotta have a lot of grit. So I wouldn't say a lot of grit, but you have to be able to listen. You have to be able to
Yeah.
take orders, and I wasn't saying necessarily take orders because it was my promotion, but as far as
Yeah.
no, what you don't know, you might as well be a prophet, even though
Yeah.
it's yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To people who are a lot more experienced. So
Yeah.
it's really just knowing when to be reserved, when to, I guess, not. You know what I mean? Kind of voice your opinion firmly, um, with the understanding that you have to stand on that regardless. So accountability, I guess, would be
Yeah.
what I got from transferred over.
Okay.
So.
Because that's what I'm saying. Because I know some things transfer over, and by you being coming into the boxing world and being a boxing promoter, some of the things I know had transfer into with you in the boxing. Brawl South. We want to know.
Mm.
The people want to know who is Brawl South. Is it just you? Is it just other people? How is that?
So let's we can dive into what Brawl South is. Brawl South was a fan of boxing until he got into the sport and realized he could be an even bigger fan of boxing. And so that fanship started 2 years ago. Me and
Mhm.
my wife were just starting to kind of reshape and plan our business futures as far as productions, anything goes. And I realized that there wasn't really boxing in my area for a while,
Mhm.
or well,
Mhm.
what I thought hadn't happened. But shout out to Christian Smith who linked us up. He schooled me on the history of it here.
Mhm.
So All South is up and coming, but it started off as I want to give the people in the area something new,
Mhm.
um, and I think I'm ready to take that step into a bigger, providing a bigger platform. So,
Yeah.
and my thinking in that is it's an experience. It's an experience sport. You got boxers that are ready to fight, anytime, anywhere. So just wanted to kind of provide that and show people what they look like in Huntsville.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
Brawl South, Brawl South is also a student of the sport. You know what I mean? We're novices of the sport,
Right.
which means we have to be open to learning a lot of things we didn't know about sport, or a lot of stuff that we that Ball South kind of, I wouldn't say brushed off, but that Ball South should have, I wouldn't say should have,
Mhm.
but the little stuff can become big problems later. So we're still a
Right.
novice. We're still learning. We're still building relationships. We're still mending relationships, because that's what we do if we're going to take accountability, which again transferred over. Um, Ball South is a up and up and coming promotion that actually loves what he does now, despite setbacks. I actually
Yeah.
love it. I actually see I see the energy in it. The camaraderie is a lot different, because I noticed in the sport that you have a lot of fighters who can get in there and do battle, and then have that mutual respect, and then weeks, months down the line, they hit each other, check on each other. You know what I mean? After doing battle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, it's somebody that's learned a different kind of camaraderie and a different kind of brotherhood, uh, while also realizing that he's a novice. So
Right. Okay, that's understandable. You're new into the game, and you're
mhm.
learning, and that's okay, because you got to start somewhere, and
Yeah,
that's for anybody.
yeah,
It's like you got to crawl before you walk. So that's the
yeah.
way it goes.
I say
That's
this,
the way
Mr.
it goes.
Hall. I've always been hard headed, which is why I got caught a lot of lumps when I was younger because I tried to start running before I crawled. So, which is to me, that's just how I am. I'm kind of a rush in type of guy, you know.
Mhm.
But this sport requires patience. If you're going to be on the outside looking inside the ring, it requires patience because they're going to deliver. The fighters are going to deliver. So you crawl, you give yourself time to crawl. You know,
Mhm.
they'll do a lot of the walking and leg work for you. What I mean, if you're doing what you're supposed to do. So yeah, I'm gonna
That's true.
call. I'm gonna get back to calling though.
Yeah, and that's what
Get back
That's
to calling.
nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Say hello to my
Yeah,
man Tony. I knew he was coming in. Tony Burgess, what's
how you
happening,
doing,
man?
Tony?
Hadn't seen you in a long time. Burgess Boxing and Fitness out of Spring Lake, North Carolina. Good to see you, Tony. Always, Tony. Your guy lost. Just messing with you, Tony. You know I'm just messing with you. Getting back to boxing promoter Steve McDowell of Brawl South. Steve, there's Alabama's not known for boxing, but there are
Well,
boxers.
no. Oh,
No,
whoa,
let me finish. Let me finish
whoa.
before you say
Okay,
anything else. Let me
all right.
finish. What I'm
Yeah,
saying,
I'm
it's
going.
not
Hey, see
known.
that? You making me go head first.
Yeah. Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
I
And
got
what I say, it's not known for boxing. It's not of New York. It's not California. It's not Detroit or places like that, or
you. Right.
Philadelphia, where there's a bunch of boxers. But let me say this, because in defense of what I'm trying to say to you, there's
Yes,
boxers,
sir.
there's great boxers that come out of Alabama. Just to name a few.
Hmm.
Uh, Ernie Shavers. A lot of people didn't know Ernie Shavers came from there. Of course, Joe Lewis came from there. And
Hmm.
Deontay Wilder. Uh,
Hmm.
Alabama, Alabama is what we see in a lot of people do. It's football, but there's boxing there, and it seems like to me that's what you're trying to do is bring it there. Am I correct?
I'm trying to I'm trying to share the wealth and give the fighters. I'm trying to give them. How about this? I'm trying to give them another platform or another stop for their careers. So you got the just name those cities. They weren't big in boxing until they were. I think what we have here is some of the fastest growing cities in the nation. So why shouldn't it be here? Everything else is coming here. We've had a lot of entities move within Huntsville. Facebook, Google, FBI. We had a lot of people, or a lot of entities move there because they see the growth in it. So I I started off saying I'm trying to bring it here.
Right.
I'm trying to bring it here.
Okay.
But I'm happy to have had the opportunity to start it back in Huntsville, and
Hmm.
I commend any promoter who's tried to do it in Alabama, and whether you succeeded or failed, because it's not easy. There's a lot of backing in those big cities that you named. There's a lot of support, a lot of backing, and then there's a lot of big lights. So
Yeah.
the big lights we have are the fighters. And this is she probably wouldn't expect it, nor him, but I know Sonya and CJ from Gaston were up in Canada last night, and though it wasn't a favorable outcome, um, it was a amazing, a nice platform, and she worked to get there, and it won't be her first, it won't be her last big fight, you know what I mean? Um, we're on a bigger platform, so if if our fighters from Alabama can go to those platforms, then we can bring we can have our own platforms here too. It's just gonna
Yeah. True.
take a lot of work and a lot, and believe it or not, we're starting to get more and more backing with that. I know I personally am. Probably dive into that a little bit later on, but yeah, I'll say I'm glad to be a part of bringing it here.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
I'm
And that's
happy
what
to be trusted with
and that's what it seems like you're doing. You're bringing it there into that state, into that city, Huntsville, in that area, and that's a lot, and that's that within itself. That's good. That's very good
it.
because that opened up a
Mr.
lot
D,
of
I just
doors
want,
for.
if you don't mind, I don't think the sport ever left. I think that the camera's dead. So we got. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
You'll see. Just, you'll as we grow, you'll see people that's been just waiting. The sport is here. It's just need a lot more platforms like yours to come on. You know, um,
sure, sure,
and
sure, sure.
stuff like that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, want to say hello to Michael Hunter. What's up, Mike? I see you, my man. Always around, Michael Hunter. Good to see you, Mike. Thank you for stopping by. A couple more people. Pearly Ela. Ela.
What's up, P?
Good to see you. Yeah. I think it's Pearly. Pearly. I think TP Thompson. What's happening, my man? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Call in number. There it is, 919-410-8736. If you want to call in and speak with boxing promoter Stephen Mcdowell of Brawl South, here's your chance to ask some questions that you may have. Promoting, Tony says promoting is the key. Yeah, so true. Tony says it is true, Tony. Promoting is the key. I want to ask you this, and I want to get your opinion. There isn't a lot of black promoters in the U.S. What is your opinion? Besides, everybody know Don King, one of the best to ever do it. What is your reason for, in your opinion, for that not happening, not being more black promoters?
Well, we can't ignore that. That's you know that is happening. But I can't really. I haven't been in the game long enough to actually grasp why. But I can say, being from Alabama, there's a stigma on certain doors that don't open, and I think knock and try. And don't knock it until you try it. But I would like to think that it's because it's a lot of hard work, a lot of time, and a lot of could be or would be black promoters just don't know enough about the behind the scenes, or promoting or production or any kind of platform background, and that's not because they're not capable of it. Of course, it's just different avenues, and fortunately for me, I've learned it is kind of a who you know type of thing. But I don't see it as far as, I'm not gonna say I don't see, because again, I haven't been in long enough to even speak as far as a in depth, whether it be to something as negative as favors or segregation, anything like that. But what I can say is I've met some pretty cool and important people who know them new promoter, who know I have a lot of people to meet, who who still see me and they can name a name and they see my face get red because I'm like, feel like I should know that name. You know what I mean? So I really would, man. I would say try it. And now if there's still a discrepancy after you try to knock on the door, then that's a different conversation.
Right.
Luckily for me, I don't think, and you can never say never, of course, but been blessed enough to not have gotten that from the beginning.
Okay. So, Michael Hunter says, you go ahead. You got something else you want to say?
No, go ahead. No.
Oh, okay. Ahead. Michael Hunter says Al Heyman promotes. Yes, he does. He does, but we haven't seen Al Heyman since, I don't know when last time we seen Al Heyman was 1974. I don't even know what the man looked like now. I've seen him one time. I seen Al Heyman one time. And that was it. I don't know where he at, Michael. I ain't seen him. and he might not never show his face ever again. I'm being funny though, Mike. I'm just being funny. But yeah, I'm just that was.
So do you mind if I ask you, like, what do you think? Do you think that's for certain reasons, or you just haven't
Well,
crossed paths with a lot of black? Like, what is your thinking on
well,
that?
well. There. In my opinion, what I think it hasn't been any is because I think it's a lot of work. I think it's a lot of dedication. Not saying they're not capable of doing it.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, because I know, and I think me and Tony know, and some other people know of one or two promoters. I do know one former promoter. She was a female, and it's a lot of work. When I talked to this lady, she said, "Just unbelievable work that you do behind the scenes." She said she liked what she do, but you gotta want to do it. You gotta want to be deep into it to make it work. She's out of North Carolina, and she's a good lady. And she told me it's a lot of work, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of things that you don't want to do that you're going to have to do. So, and I'm not saying that's the reason why, but I'm just saying that possibly could be some of the things that there are.
So when you say it like that and break it down like that, I think as far as like you get to a certain level is where even the hard work, you still got to get to a point of who you know, and it may not be a lot of familiar faces who look like you, to where it's a who you know. You know what I mean? To where that hard work is like, okay, is it even worth it at this point? So I guess I kind of understand, but again, it's worth it. If you know what I mean, if it's hard work, trust me, it's who JD has told me once you get past your first one, half of your headaches go away, and you can ask Jay. I called him like a few weeks, probably every day up to the show, and I was spazzing a different way every day. Every day. You know what I mean?
Who is this guy that you're talking about? Because we don't know. Who is JDS?
JDS, the Godfather, Mr. Mr. JDS, affiliated with Mr. Deontay Wilder, managing promoter.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, JD. Okay, so that way people know who you're talking about. Gotcha. Okay, no problem.
So, but no, he even told me that he I've met a few people that's kind of kept me grounded as far as recognizing the hard work, actually like appreciating the hard work I'm putting in versus letting it get to me, But it really is hard work. I not once had time to think about if it was hard because of my skin color, because it was that hard. It's that hard. It's that time.
But it's just a question that I just wanted to give you.
I feel you. I feel you. But actually, it's insightful to me. I'll have to, I'll ask that question as I cross paths with promoters, and if I can bring you back an answer as far as how they feel.
Got a question for Michael Hunter. Got a question for Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter says, can promoting be a cut type of business? Cut type throat of business?
Any business could be a cutthroat type of business. You could be at a coffee shop across the street from another coffee shop, and if somebody's going out of business and the other one's putting them out of business, be surprised what people will do. So but yeah, for sure. So I don't, promoting can be, but I think that's because once you do it, you see how hard work it is, that you get real territory over what you put into, and so like you get real critical. I would have done it this way. I would have done it that way, or mine was better than this, and mine was better than that. It's not. I wouldn't say it can be petty, but rightfully so, because at the same time, it's competition. Unless you're in a state like ours, where we want to make sure we blow it up across the state, and then see what the competition is there. But I don't see us getting like I don't have time to find out how cutthroat it is. When I find out, it'll be like everything else I learned in promoting. And there it is. I have to have a good team and know people. I, you just a fish in the water if you don't in a pool of sharks. But ain't nothing wrong with that. You decide to swim. So what you say, Mr. Donnie? Just
Yeah, as Mike says, thank you for answering. He says, I know music producers like that. He said, that's what he said. Thank you for answering this question. Matter of fact, let me do this right here. I want to give the people a round of applause for joining us today. I know being a boxing promoter can be difficult.
Yeah.
What have you run into?
What have I learned? Let's see. An overestimated expectation and an underestimated expectation is a recipe for disaster. Because what you should be paying attention to causes you to overlook something that's you find out after is way more critical than this. And I learned that you need people with experience around you to point that out before. And even if they point it out, it needs to come from the right voice. Because I can't speak for every promoter. I know I learned that I got to feel people out as I go along, because I'm an ultimate competitor with myself. So I don't want people to bear the burden that I know I'm potentially risking with it. So I've learned that adversity is in everything. Not learned, but I was reminded that it was in everything, and also that pride can be before the fall, but thank God it wasn't a fall for me. It was just a setback. But I learned to value the people who actually believe in you. I've learned to take more calculated risk within that risk, and not have to compensate or recoup for it later on down the road while before you even reach the other goal, before you even reach a successful fight. Communication, same page. You got to be on the same page. You can't sit there and say that, okay, well, they didn't do what I wanted them to do, or they didn't do this because maybe I didn't explain it right. With me being a new promoter, production language is a lot different than promoting, and I got to remember this is the role I'm in now, and this is what I chose to do. And just because I'm growing a passion for it, doesn't mean that I know what I'm doing. There's nothing wrong with saying you don't know what you're doing yet. But I think I did enough to where things I've learned in production and military carried us to the finish line. Not me specifically, because when I say that, I mean, I'm glad God put me in a position to get it to Campus 805, and I'm glad everybody that participated in it. I mean, everybody, whether anybody thinks there's any ill will or bad blood, I'm glad that you guys were a part of it. No, that part that you guys made history, because all I did was provide the platform. All I did was provide the ring. Well, I didn't provide the ring. Shout out to Billy Blau and Matt Young, but the stage, if we're speaking for showmanship. But each and everybody who was a part of it, don't take my setback. Don't be distracted by my setback. Enjoy and be proud of what you guys did, because at the end of the day, it was a regrettable moment, but I'm happy I can sit back and look like everybody else that was there. I'm talking to the audience. I'm talking to the debut fighters. I'm talking to people who flew in and got to see Huntsville. As actually, don't sleep on Huntsville, the city itself.
Okay, so you talking about? Can I ask you a question? I don't mean to interrupt you, but you're talking about the fight. You're talking about the show the production that you put on. What was it? January I don't know. I can't remember what.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, January.
Well, it was my first and only. So that I learned.
Okay.
I learned all the way from the beginning to all the way up until a regrettable moment. So
Right, because I'm trying to get the people
I
to
just wanted to
understand
say
what
that.
you're saying.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I just want to let everybody know who participated, man. Y'all made history. Y'all were the good parts about that night. And before I go into the other part, I have no problem taking accountability for what did go wrong. For the simple fact that I understand why people would be upset in the moment when tensions are high. But so basically we'll get into it. Again, the overestimating and underestimating, pretty sure you got around to where fighters weren't paid at that moment. They're good now. But that was just miscalculation of, not so much misbudgeting, just the depth of everything, the closer you got, the closer you got, the closer you got. You know what I mean? Um, I could have had contingency plans set in place and probably should have made phone calls a lot sooner than I did. So basically what
Well,
happened was, go ahead.
Yeah, well. Pretty much, it's simple. To simplify everything is what I'm trying to say. Is that
Okay.
you're new. You're gonna make
Mm-hmm.
mistakes. Everybody
Yeah.
does. Everybody,
Yeah.
and you're gonna keep making. You know why you're gonna keep making mistakes? Because you're human. You might not make the same mistake. You might make a different mistake. So that's all in the ballgame. Even me and Jay. Shout out to my man Jay York. He's here now. Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming in, Jay. And that's a part of the game. Tony Bergeson, longtime friend, he makes mistakes, but he don't make the same mistake. So that's just a part of the game. You dig what I'm saying? This is what Tony said.
Yeah.
Remember, you can't make everybody happy. You can't make everybody happy. And I like what Tony just said. Yeah, I like what Tony just said there. You can't make everybody happy.
I don't even think I had time to make everybody happy. I don't even think I had time to make everybody happy. I wanted to, honestly, Mr. Hall, I went into the intentions of let me not go in here and beat my chest just because I'm the man on the paperwork, And like you said, I think that I eventually did end up doing that, but I thought I could handle doing that. And at the end of the day, it's not a lot of it's not necessary, I think providing a platform, a new audience because it's not in Huntsville a lot, what I mean? That was the first time in like since the 60s. So just that right there, that's enough. It's enough to build off of. And right now, I just want to go ahead.
You got to start.
I'm glad I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm glad I did. It was. I'm not gonna say it was dark, but I was. Like I said, I'm very, very, very. I told you this yesterday. I'm very critical and hard on myself. Even with past ventures, past things in my personal life, I'm just very hard on myself. But with this specific thing here, I'm gonna keep doing this as long as God allows me to. As long as God allows me to, I'm gonna keep doing it.
That's it. And Jay says, don't beat yourself up too much, for things like that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Michael Hunter says, does the promoter do the undercards too, or just the main events?
So I will leave that up to my matchmaker and my team who make the best decision on that because I was a little too hands on with some stuff. So I know I know I can promote a main event. I can tell you that.
Right.
I can promote a main event. But the thing is, I have no problem promoting the undercards too. I know that's probably unheard of. I had no problem doing it because they were coming on my they were giving me a shot too for the first time. Yeah. Just like some of the fighters were debuts too. So okay. But going forward, let them have that.
Yeah. What's next for Brawl South? What's next for them in 2025?
2025. All right. So July 26th. Location and time to be determined. but
Okay.
it is a go. The fighters are under contract. Anybody who watched the first Brawl of the South got to see the novice champ get his belt. Jalen Strong, shout out to you. Jalen Strong also was one that kept calling me, make sure I was good, and said he was riding with me. Another fighter who also did that was Justin Jamar from Huntsville. And he did the same thing. And I like to take care of people who take care of me. I want Decatur and Huntsville to keep growing because those are both the 256 cities. But they can grow against each other because both of them are going to be fighting on July 26th. Huntsville versus Decatur, battle for the Rocket, battle for the Bridge. Those are two neighboring cities. The belt is in Decatur right now. The challenger is in Huntsville. So Jada's going to bring the belt back over to Decatur, to Huntsville, and get somebody else a shot to take. It just happens to be his neighboring city. So the next promotion, July 26th, is Brawl 256. Battle for 256.
Next promotion. Next fight, July 26th. It sounds like it's going to be a battle.
Yeah, well, see, Mr. Hall, the first one was, more so was a Anniston and Decatur. Those are two cities in Alabama, and they show love to their fighters. So, why not keep that going? Again, there's fighters in Alabama. So, but the best fight, best, and they'll keep going. And there's going to be other people too.
Who are some of your, while we are talking about promoting and promoters, who are some of your well, I'm trying to get it out. The promoters that you admire and that you have watched and perhaps learned. I mean, different promoters, Eddie Hearn, there's Don King, there's a different promoters. Who have you watched?
So I have to go with because, like I said, I didn't know too much about it.
Right.
I like what Mayweather did for himself.
Okay, yeah, he promoted,
yeah, and then but really Jay Diaz. I mean, like I said, I don't know a lot of promoters yet for them to be my hero, but I know Jay Diaz is a solid guy, and when you think he's gonna be the little man next to a big dog, he'll remind you he got started too. So I'm anxious to learn from him.
For everybody,
I went to the first fight I seen live was his fight. I didn't even know. I called to get tickets and let him know I was getting ready to start getting into the game, and he stayed on the phone with me for an hour. Had just met me. So
everybody. So before we go any further, want everybody to know who JDS. JDS is the promoter for Deontay Wilder, the former WBC champion, and world champion, the one that fought Tyson Fury. So that's who he's talking about. Just want everybody to get an understanding of who that is. He's speaking on, but I didn't mean to cut you off. But I just want them to know who you was talking about.
You good. I like, I like to. I know what he's accomplished. I'm glad I get to work. And what's a funny story now? That's one of the. He actually was advising me from the beginning, and I think I had a hard time like taking this advice from the beginning because I'm like, well, dang, dude already telling me I can't do it. That's not what it was. That's not what he was trying to do. He just, wanted to actually grow the sport and help me out. And, I didn't deserve the olive branch, but he definitely looked out. And so much, in fact, that he introduced me to Mr. King, Mr. Marcus King, a Kingmaker, and Miss Wendy, who was a force to be reckoned with. You don't want to see on no paperwork in the argument. You don't. Miss Kingmaker is the name. The name is in the name. He allowed me to come up under him too. So I'm looking forward to learning from both of them. They looked out, and they seem willing to teach me while also reminding me that like you said, everybody take a loss. He's like, I think Mr. King told me name a promoter who hasn't taken a loss,
Yeah.
and that's not how you want to be around if they can't tell you that. So
Yeah.
they looked out, man, and they want to see the sport grow. They still do. They still do. And they gave me they looked out.
Great. Well, look, when we get ready to wind it down, it's been a great show.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Can I give a shout out to real quick?
Go ahead.
You don't mind?
Go ahead.
I know we started talking months ago and stuff like that. So I appreciate you staying in contact and allowing me to come here and do this. Especially, I don't have a name out there like that, but you still take the time to, help me, speak. And then Christian Smith, thank you for that bridge. Jay York, thank you for patience on getting everything you need. Like I said, Marcus King, Jay Diaz, Jalen Strong, Justin Jamar, my wife. We closer than ever because of this. My kids, family, everybody. Yeah, she dope, man. Dope.
You better shout the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. She ain't gonna cook no more for you.
No, I got. Hey, man. She showed me. I don't even get like that, and I'm trying not to talk like you know what I mean. But she, what God said, and I ain't even appreciate it until stuff went down. You know what I mean? So she's
it's all good, man. We just be cutting up over here, man. You know what I'm saying?
You was right, though. You was right. You all right, though. I gotta shout it out.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Wow. Next show, July 26th is on the way.
TBD.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe we can get one of the fighters on from that show. Have him here on the People Show, and talk to him.
It'll be some surprises on this next card. I think maybe surprises. It'll be other guests here. Hope we'll be able to talk to you. I just gotta go.
You got any questions? You got any questions for me?
I got any. Let me see. I got a question for you.
Hold on, I got a call.
Okay.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on? It's Jay York.
What's happening, Jay? My man. Yeah.
What's up, Jay?
What's up? What's going on? What's up, big dog?
Man, I'm happy you got me on, Mr. D Hall too. I appreciate you.
Hey man, I'm sitting here listening to you, brother. I called to give you some advice if I could.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because man, one thing that I learned in performing, you know what I'm saying, and doing performances and stuff like that. A lot of times when you go before a crowd, you always afraid. I don't care how many times you get on stage, you always got some kind of fear somewhere. You got some kind of doubt somewhere. But Michael Jackson said it best. Always believe in yourself, brother. Believe in yourself and never point out your faults to people. Even if you weaken something, don't tell people. Don't let them know your faults. You know what I'm saying? You keep your faults to yourself. You know what I mean? Even when you weak, appear to be strong. Give an appearance of strength. Because when you show weakness, people mostly prey on that. They prey on your weakness. They prey on your lack of knowledge and not knowing how to do something. Because if somebody feel like, oh, well, he don't know what he's doing, he don't know how to do this, that's an opportunity for me to get over on him. No, man. Even if you don't know how to do it, act like you know how to do it. Don't ever tell a person that you're weak or you're weak in a certain area. Because people out here, man, especially in your field, they eat you alive out there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of promoters out there. Yeah, there's a lot of promoters out there. There's a lot of money to be made. And, people they look for the weakest link to take advantage of. But in your private time, learn as much as you can and keep your knowledge to yourself. And you got to put on a persona, man, that
Mr.
you
I
know what you're
appreciate that.
doing.
Good talk.
Yeah.
I do. I do. I
Mm-hmm.
learned. Trust me. I'll be back. I'll be back. We're coming back.
Okay.
I appreciate y'all letting me put this one to bed, but I'm counting on them thinking on week this time.
Dig that.
No doubt, brother. Okay, man. I just wanted to come on and give you a word of encouragement, man. Hey, you're doing a great job, and keep on going, man. Keep grinding.
Appreciate y'all. Hey, God first.
Amen.
All right. Amen.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Amen.
Go ahead, close it.
Say what number, Saul?
Any questions for me? We can. Any questions?
What's something you tell yourself day to day? But since you have such different guests, I mean, how do you? What advice do you keep reminding yourself of as you interview people, while also dealing with different types of guests?
You have to, when you're interviewing people, you have to be patient. You have to, how can I put it? You have to be able to adjust to anything. It's like a pitcher throwing a fastball. It's a changeup. You have to, and the batter have to adjust to the speed of the pitcher. And that's what I do. I make a lot of adjustments to what they throw at me. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That's when I make adjustments for everything that I do in my show. And me, Jay, does it together. We make adjustments. We analyze it and say, okay, well, we're going to hit the ball this way, and we tackle it as it comes day by day, and that's how we do it. That's how we do it, brother.
I feel that right there.
That's how we do it, man.
Yes,
that's how we do it, man. Just like I said, like the pitcher throwing to that batter. That batter adjusts to whatever he throws to him. He may not hit the ball every time, but he's making adjustments. That's what we do here.
He's still coming back up to the plate. Keep coming to the plate.
That's right, brother. Keep coming. We keep coming. We might not. We might get knocked down a little bit, but we right back up again. That's how we do it, man. But yeah, tell the people how they can find you.
Hey, you can go on Facebook, Brawl South, or Instagram, Brawl South, with the logo. Y'all see it on the Instagram. I got, other little pages too, but those are in development. But just find the established Brawl South 2025 logo. But yeah, Facebook, Instagram. It's about it right now. I'm still.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. I want a big shout out. You shouted him out, but I want to shout him out also, Christian Smith. I appreciate him for giving me the line of contact with you. I wish you well. Hope to get you back on in 2025. Sometime year. Look, man, keep hanging in there and doing what you're doing. We are here. The people show me, and Jay, love to have you back on. Thank you so much. Any last words?
Appreciate y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. Y'all versatile. Y'all patient, like you said. Y'all clearly offer guidance on the fly, on live, on the live stream. So keep being pretty good dudes, man. I'm happy y'all brought me here, and I look forward to, getting some knowledge and wisdom from you too, Mr. Hall.
Appreciate it. Anytime, brother. We can help you. We will. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Promoter, boxing promoter Stephen Mcdowell of the Brawl South, man. Y'all go check him out. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you. Y'all have a blessed day. Right. Thank you for having me.
You too. Yes, sir. Great show today. Wow. Good to see my man. Wish him well being a boxing promoter. Hope he be one of the top promoters that are around. Great. We learned a lot today. We learned a lot, and he learned a lot today. Man, big show coming up. All my shows are big. Next week. Yeah, Paul Pierce, UK, man. Hey, it's been a while, Paul. It's always good to see you. Thank you for coming on. I know you want that fight. You know what I'm talking about, man. You already know, man. Hey, look here. Y'all share the video. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all coming on my show today. I'll look to be back next Sunday or maybe before then. It all depends, on how things turn out. Look, check y'all out next Sunday. If something comes up, we'll be back on Thursday. All right, we'll see you. Thank you so much.
In North Carolina, there's only one podcast. A podcast of the people. We report the news. We report the opinions. We give the people a voice. We give the people the plug. Plug into the People's Show. A J. York production.
That's our time on The People's Show. Join us next time with our new exciting guest. To be a guest on The People's Show, email dmost42@gmail.com. The People's Show is a J. York production. Thanks for your comments, call-ins, and questions.